and roller coaster. Yeah. Rock and roller coaster. Rock and roller coaster. Yeah. Rock and roller coaster.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. You are watching Probably a Disney, and it looks like instead of that parks panel at Destination D23, Disney decided to reveal some anticipated news on their own and to the media early. And yes, we finally have news about what we're getting when the Muppets take over Hollywood Studios' Rock and Roller Coaster. So I'm going to run through today's announcements. I'm going to talk about what Disney revealed and what they didn't. There are definitely some surprises here worth mentioning, from the number of animatronics in Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets to the fact that Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin's classic high score is no more, and which seat on the Millennium Falcon will now allow guests to interact with Baby Yoda. So best remove those hats and glasses and pull up on the yellow tab, because you're watching Probably at Disney, and we are diving in headfirst into all the things coming to Walt Disney World by the end of 2026. And we're going to start at Magic Kingdom. And no, despite Rivers of America running dry, we have no official updates on Cars or Villains Land. I think they are saving that for the actual D23. But what Disney did discuss today was Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Not gonna lie, this was one of the more vague announcements of the day, but Disney did share an updated backstory for the attraction, which reads as follows. When Barnabas T. Bullion struck gold in the Big Thunder region, he saw a future full of riches and hustled to start the Big Thunder Mountain Company. However, those shiny dreams rarely come without a cost, and Bullion quickly found himself in a battle with the forces of nature and in a whole heap of trouble. One day, strange and unexplainable things started happening. Machines failed, cave-ins shut mines down. No matter how deep the miners dug into the heart of the mountain, the forces of Big Thunder fought back. And when the attraction reopens next year, unsuspecting passengers who board the runaway trains will learn just how wild the wilderness can get. Disney then teased one new element coming to Big Thunder Mountain, which is when the trains rattle their way underground to the natural caverns. Disney described them as housing phosphorescent pools and having shimmering and illuminating iridescent stalagmites and stalactites. Disney went on to say that these rainbow caverns, shout out to the Disneyland reference, aren't as friendly as they appear, and that menacing rubble from deep within the mountain may be a sign that guests are not welcome. Furthermore, the two new pieces of concept art that Disney shared suggest the lighting, the mood, and the effects in the cavern will transform from one to becoming another that's more sinister. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you've heard me talk about how Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and the Haunted Mansion are about to become neighbors at Magic Kingdom when Disney fills in the rivers. Also, both attractions have a supernatural story. So I wondered if Disney might connect the two in a way, especially since the path to Villains Land will soon run between them both. Not saying that's what's happening here, but it is possible, and maybe this means guests will soon have two spooky attractions bookending their way to Villains Land. What Disney didn't share today is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad's reopening date. My current prediction is spring 2026, but that may depend on just how desperate Disney is to offer a distraction to offset the Piston Peak construction, so stay tuned. Moving right along, Disney shared new details about the new ride vehicles for Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin in Tomorrowland. And as you can see here, I think they look really great, and you can even see those new handheld blasters that guests will be able to pick up and point and shoot when it reopens. However, here is some news for you. The cap score of 999,999 is now no more. Instead, there's going to be an unlimited high score, so very interesting development there. We also did not get a reopening date for the attraction, but since it hasn't been closed that long, that's kind of to be expected. The one opening date we did get, though, was for Zootopia Better Zoogether, which is coming to Animal Kingdom and replacing It's Tough to Be a Bug. Disney confirmed the new 4D show will debut on November 7th and ahead of Zootopia 2, which arrives in theaters on November 26th and just in time for Thanksgiving. The story of this new show is that it's Zoogether Day in Zootopia, a celebration of unity amongst the Zootopia biomes. And for this, Disney is unveiling a brand new character named Heidi Howler, a wolf who is the host of the Zoogether Day live broadcast. So for this special day, the animals are going to be entertaining guests with ice skating performances, synchronized swimming, drone shows, and of course a finale starring Gazelle, who will be singing Try Everything. All of which guests will see from a live stream watch party. So that's the story as of right now. If you are a cast member, annual pass holder, or DVC member, info about previews will be revealed later this fall. But a few extra details for you for the show. Guests will be wearing new Carrot Vision 3D glasses that are supposed to have or appear to have a connection to Judy Hopps' family farm. And there will be a new non-stink bug scent. Don't know quite what that means, but something to look out for. Also, Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps will be meeting guests at Animal Kingdom's Discovery Island and in their new Zootopia 2 outfits soon. One last thing to mention, Disney noted that the film's voice actors and filmmakers from Walt Disney Animation worked very closely with Imagineering for this show. And that's important because it means it's really a true semi-spin-off for the parks, and it's being overseen by Disney Imagineer Danny Hankey, who's continuing his relationship with Walt Disney Animation for Hollywood Studios' new The Magic of Disney Animation that is replacing Star Wars Launch Bay, and for Walt Disney Studios replacing Animation Courtyard. While Disney didn't reveal much more information about this particular Hollywood Studios project, we did get an updated poster with Robin Williams' Lost Boy character from the original Magic of Disney animation show titled Back to Neverland that he filmed with Walter Cronkite. This character also made a cameo in Once Upon a Studio, the inspiration for this space. So I love the full circle moment that we're having here with his inclusion. Another Hollywood Studios news item is that the engineer position aboard Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is getting a massive upgrade. We've heard a little bit about this in the past, but we got more info today. So when the Mandalorian and Grogu overlay is added to the attraction in May of 2026, and this is happening both at Disney World and Disneyland, by the way, the engineer will become responsible for choosing where the Falcon goes, which is a lot of power. And there are several familiar Star Wars planets as options. Also, the engineer will be the one who gets to communicate with Baby Yoda, otherwise known as Grogu. I personally love that they are fixing this issue with the Falcon because no one really wanted to be the engineer. So I like that they're elevating that, they're adjusting that, and this particular position is going to be so great for kids, especially those who may only just be tall enough to ride but don't know quite how or get flying the Falcon. So again, glad that they're doing that. Now, in my opinion, the story of the day is Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets. And yes, that is the attraction's title. And Disney dropped all kinds of new artwork information and the ride's new backstory. So here it is. The Electric Mayhem are headlining their biggest Hollywood concert ever. Anyone who's anyone is in attendance to witness Animal, Dr. Teeth, and the rest of this groove-tastic group rock the house down. There's just one little problem. The band is nowhere to be found. With your VIP passes, you'll be welcome inside the recording studio where, wouldn't you know it, you'll find the Electric Mayhem are cranking out some seriously rocking tunes. Along with the finest audio engineers, all penguins of course, we'll see Scooter doing his best to convince the Electric Mayhem to stop jamming and get to their increasingly restless fans. But will it be enough to get the band across town and on stage in time? So that's the new official backstory for this redo. But there are a couple other details Disney shared and a few things I want to point out, such as the fact that G-Force Records is staying. It's just under new management. According to the story, Scooter's uncle, who is J.P. Gross, he's actually a connection to the Muppet Show and the Muppet Theater, as he was, in Muppet lore, the owner of Muppet Theater. Therefore, I'm guessing he's the one we can blame for selling it to Mike Wazowski. But anyway, he has now taken over G-Force Records. Guests are still going to be on a VIP tour. The band is still late for their concert, and we're still getting a jam session pre-show. So all of that is remaining. The guitar outside is also staying, but as expected, it's getting a vibrant, psychedelic new design, but at the bottom of the guitar. And Disney noted the piano keys at the base will have a golden key as a nod to Dr. Teeth's own signature look. The Disney Parks blog announcement also mentioned that the Muppets have made the studio their own. To me, that sounds like we're getting Muppet decor and hopefully some Muppet Vision props in here. Also, penguins are the audio engineers, a reference to Muppet Vision 3D's Penguin Orchestra. And yes, Disney confirmed they will be animatronics. Furthermore, Scooter is also going to be an animatronic, so that brings the confirmed animatronic count up to 3. I would imagine the band will be screens like Aerosmith is now, but I haven't heard confirmation on that. And from this concept art, it appears that Kermit and Miss Piggy will also be just screens, not animatronics. No word on Statler and Waldorf, unfortunately, but I would love it if they somehow made it into the queue and heckled guests before they took off in their limo. Speaking of which, Disney alluded to Muppet Labs helping guests get to the concert aboard their limo. Not only is that park synergy, which I love, but it may mean we will in fact be getting more Muppet action further into the queue and maybe in a new safety video. And finally, and I don't quite know what this will look like, but Disney claims the already cartoony Hollywood landmarks inside the coaster will be getting their own Muppet twist. As for the music, no word on that just yet. All Disney said is that throughout the journey, you'll hear the Electric Mayhem playing some of the most iconic rockin' hits in your ears. And they alluded to G-Force Records releasing a concert set list soon. Finally, Disney did not give an opening date for Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets, especially since Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith has yet to close. My prediction would be late 2026, but of course that depends on just how fast Disney wants to move to get this back open again. But my take on today's news, I'm glad we got something, but this is definitely an overlay. Not a lot is changing. Not a lot of the story is changing. But since Rock and Roller Coaster already is fantastic, I kind of get it. I do hope, though, we get more Muppet characters and that Disney really leans into theming the queue. I think it will be tempting on their part to keep it simple and just hang a portrait of Scooter's uncle on the wall and call it a day. But I'm hoping for the opposite. And again, some of Disney's language in the announcement today gave me hope. The music, though, is going to be a huge part of this experience. My guess is that they're not just doing Muppets music, but licensed classic rock music, which is why they couldn't announce the playlist today. I am curious about what they're going to select, and I really hope we get some onboard Muppet audio as well. Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is an example of how the two can really impact a ride, music and humor. So I hope Disney is looking to imitate that in a way that works for the Muppets. But overall, I think today's news is much of what we were expecting. The jury, though, is still out on just how dedicated Disney is to giving the Muppets the attention they deserve. Time will tell. But there you have it. That is the avalanche of news Disney just dropped on us all. And it all has to do with attractions either opening or reopening this year or in 2026. Again, not entirely sure why Disney revealed this now instead of at D23, but since they didn't share any Tropical Americas or Villains Land or Piston Peak or even Lakeshore Lodge news for that matter, I'm guessing that is what they're saving for the event in the coming days. So take this as just the beginning of the Disney Park News Blitz. But here is my question for now. Are you surprised we didn't get more opening dates for the attractions discussed today? Do you have predictions for when they will open? And what are your thoughts on Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets and Zootopia Better Zoogether and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and projections in the comments. And if you too love Disney Park news and analysis, please do give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. Again, there is so much more to come and I would love to have you along. But regardless, and as always, thank you for taking the time to watch and I hope you have a magical day.